Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review, a demo and a comparison of the brand new Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, but in the shade Honey, and I'm going to be comparing it with the original translucent shade. Very different packaging. If you can see, this is old. Like, I don't even use this anymore, and I think it's gone off. Hold on, let me just check. Oh, that don't smell good. I don't know if it's safe to be using it on my face. I might just throw it in the bin afterwards, but it's actually nearly finished. Now, for those of you that are unaware about the whole Laura Mercier thing, now Laura Mercier was one of the first brands to come out with a translucent setting powder. It's been around since forever, but things have moved on. And nowadays we expect our setting powders to come in a variety of shades that will suit all skin tones, as opposed to this original one, which was white, like off-white is the only way I can describe it. It's always surprised me how many black and brown toned people use this all the time. It makes me look grey. This is the only time I've ever bought it, and to be honest, I've used most of it, but like I said, it's gone off, so I've obviously had it for a good 5-6 years. Now, Laura Mercier recently, finally, thank the makeup gods, released an extension of the shade range, and they created the shade Honey, as well as another shade which is called Translucent Medium Deep. Now, Honey is the perfect kind of shade for my type of skin tone. I generally prefer to use more yellow based translucent powders because I've got yellow undertones to my skin. I'm also not Caucasian and not fair skinned, therefore something like this has never ever worked for me. It's always given me a slight grey tinge to my skin, a slight zombie apocalypse kind of tinge to the skin, and it's always surprised me how many people of my complexion and darker have always used this and they've loved it. And I'm just like, it's not really, I mean, it's a good powder, don't get me wrong, however the shade, forget it, you know. I don't need to look unwell. I like to look fresh and youthful. Now, let me just quickly read to you what this actual powder is about before I get into it. Most of you are aware, but for those of you who aren't, because there will be some, let me just read to you what this powder is and why it's also so popular. So it says finely milled and weightless, which it completely is very finely milled. This flawless invisible powder features micro refined silica and soft focus light reflecting particles, and that is correct. I'm actually using Honey on my face to set most of my foundation right now, but I haven't done all of my face because I actually want to demo both of them for you side by side when setting my under eye concealer, where I'm also likely to use more powder just to give you an idea of what the colors look like against a medium person's skin tone. So yeah, it gives a soft focus, light reflecting particles completely. The light bounces off of the skin and it doesn't create any kind of like illusions of something else, which instantly blur imperfections and minimize the appearance of pores, which is exactly what it does. My skin looks lovely and flawless. I'm using the brand new Too Faced Born This Way foundation matte in the shade Golden Beige, FYI. Minimizes the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles without creasing or caking, and that's exactly what it does. It's an excellent powder. Aside from the issue with the original shade, the powder itself is absolutely excellent. It's a 10 out of 10, and that's the reason why it's been a go-to for so many people for so many years. So now it's available in 3 hues: translucent, which is the original, translucent Honey, which is what I've got to show to you today, and translucent medium deep, and suitable for all skin tones. The formula is translucent, gliding onto the skin to give an invisible natural skin finish effortlessly. It's clear why this is an undisputed cult classic setting powder. I agree with all of those claims completely. And in terms of this shade, well, like I said, I've used it to set my foundation, and you can't tell that I've actually put anything over my foundation whatsoever. So like I said, they have changed the packaging. This may have been done a while, but I don't know since when. The logo has slightly changed, but they are both still 29 grams. You get a hefty amount, and it costs £32, which is on the more pricier end, but you do get a lot of product in here and it will last you a long time. And in terms of what it looks like from the inside, it's a screw top lid. There's a couple of little holes in the middle which lets out just enough product. It's not one of those brands that lets out too much product, so you can control the amount that comes out, and it makes the situation a lot less messy too. First off, what I'm going to quickly do is I'm just going to apply them on my hand side by side, just so that you can see what they look like next to each other. My hands are a lot more tanned than my face, so maybe you'll get a better indication of what it looks like against a slightly deeper medium skin tone than what my face is showing. Obviously this was not done neatly at all, so there's the original and there is the honey colour. So here you can see that one is almost white. I've never understood the name translucent when it's basically a white powder with like a tinge of beige. And then this one is definitely a lot more yellow. That's just to give you an idea of the colour against, like, thickly swatched as opposed to actually blended out. All right, now the best way to do this, or what I tend to do, is I will always tip it upside down, smack it on the top, tap the lid so that any product comes off, and there we go. We've got a decent amount in here, and there's a reason I'm doing that. I tend to go in quite heavily with my powder under the eyes. I've done a whole video of how to stop your concealer creasing, and that is as a result of applying quite a lot of product but only leaving it on for a couple of seconds so you don't get that crepey sort of feel. So I'm going to go in quite heavily just so that you guys can see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a powder on each side. So one side's going to have honey, one side's going to have the original. And I'm going to be using this concealer today, which is the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, the Super Coverage one. My shade is in Golden Beige. I've managed to find a semi-clean sponge. I'm going to try and use the clean side. Am I the only one who does this, right? When they've got a sponge, they literally go around bit by bit using it just so that you don't have to go and wash it. I'm so lazy, I know. This is like the normal amount I would apply under my eyes. A little bit on my nose, just a little bit. I didn't do it earlier. So that's normally the amount that I would apply under my eyes to conceal. So I'm going to use this semi-clean, semi-damp sponge, which I think is from Real Techniques. And start to blend it out. Because my sponge is not wet enough, let's just get out the foundation brush to help me. I did not think this through properly, you guys. Let's do that. And now this eye, blend, 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 blend. I've totally gone over my eyeliner on both eyes, but I'll fix that, that's fine. Let's take out the nose stud because you're just interfering with the situation. I probably will put honey on my nose. I just realised that. Why did I put the concealer on my nose if I'm not going to put both powders on it? Don't make sense. But a lot of the time I don't. Alright, so first things first, we will take the honey one. So I'm going to go in quite heavily, like you can see here, very heavily. And I literally do this. I know it's a lot. Yes, that's intentional. Just put a little bit on my nose. Now I'm going to go in with the original and coat it a lot more because there's the other powder obviously still on that brush. And oh. So I'm going to just leave that on for a couple of seconds before I clean it off. Alright, so let's start off with this side first. Oh, look, I look grey. Big surprise. God, this brush is covered. And let's do this side now. My whole room is full of powder flying through the air. And I did leave it on a little bit longer than I normally would do, just to emphasize the way that it looks under the eyes. Now I'm not sure how well it's translating on camera, but I'm just looking in my mirror, so I'm looking down. I can very clearly see a grey tinge here, and over here it's perfect. It's perfect, exactly what I needed. Now obviously it's looking a little bit stark at the moment, and that's just because I have to do the rest of my makeup, and normally I would not like do half of my makeup, wait 2 hours while I dry my hair and this and this and this. Obviously because I'm doing a video, that's why I look the way I do at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera and I am going to finish off the rest of my makeup, and then I'm going to come back just so that you guys can see what it looks like once the makeup is on, once it's all set, once it's settled into the skin. At the moment it feels like velvet under my eyes on both sides. This side smells really bad. I can smell it. Like I said, it's gone off because I wasn't going to go out and buy a £32 powder just for the purposes of a video, knowing full well that I wouldn't be using it again. So you guys are actually lucky that I still had this lying around. Okay, so here we have it. Everything is done. Makeup is complete. Lipstick is on. And if I get up close, can you guys tell? Because I can, but I'm struggling to see how it's different on camera. Now, the problem is, obviously, because of my skin tone, is already on the light medium side. Now, normally, I would not only apply this to my under eye, I would apply it all over my face. And that is definitely where it is more obvious. Because Your under eye concealer generally should be a shade or two lighter anyway, because that's the area where you want the light to kind of, you look illuminated, and other parts of your face you don't. So that's why sometimes wearing this under the eyes is not so bad. However, I can just about get away with it with my skin tone. If you are significantly deeper in shade than I am, why are you using this? Stop it. There's so many other ones out there. And this shade is a great one to use. I'm very happy with this, especially because of the fact that this has worked so well in setting my foundation. My skin feels as soft as it looks on camera. I can say that definitely. Look how smooth it looks. And that is down to me setting my matte foundation with this powder. This yellow tone is absolutely perfect for me. Sometimes I find that brands can kind of go a little bit too light or a little bit too dark with these kind of yellow banana type of shades. Anastasia Beverly Hills hasn't been able to do it right for my skin tone. Huda Beauty has not been able to do it right for my skin tone. The Huda Beauty shade that I generally tend to use is Blondie, because the shade before that is too light. It's almost like this, but a little bit deeper. So that's why I'm very happy that even though they've only got 2 additional shades, I can't obviously comment on the deeper shade, but this one is absolutely perfect in terms of it being a typical banana shade. It is yellow enough, but it's not too deep and it's not too light, which makes it absolutely perfect. So happy with this. A 10 out of 10, obviously. I'm really glad that they finally took them long enough, but they came out with a honey shade. So finally you will see that your sales will increase, Laura Mercier, because you have finally realized that there are other people out there with different skin tones. So that's it for my review of the brand new Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder in the shade of Translucent Honey. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you've got any comments in regards to this powder, or in case I've missed out anything in this video that you're interested in hearing about this powder. Please feel free to ask me below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Hope you guys are wonderful and awesome and safe and happy and healthy and everything else. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.